Hello and welcome to SatTV, where I'm pleased to be joined by Mike Engle, President and CEO of RevGo. Thanks for joining me, Mike.
Welcome.
Who and what is RevGo?
RevGo is the largest buck and LMB supplier most people haven't heard of, because since our founding in 2002, we were pretty much a marketing private label through OEMs. So you really hadn't heard of us. Over the last 18 years, we've shipped over 1 million medium power transceivers.
What is your go-to market strategy to serve the industry?
Initially, as I just said, our private label strategy through OEMs helped us grow financially. It also expanded our product line. But then around 2015, we determined we needed to go more directly to the market and establish our own brand, private labeling. It seemed like private labeling was limiting our growth. So about 2015, since 2015, we've shipped approximately 35,000 bucks from 6 to 40 watts. Primarily, we market through channel partners, and we're actively building that network still. And I would say my biggest transition into the more direct approach to the market is how vast the ecosystem is in the satellite market. Meaning the same customer may buy subsystems or full terminals from a variety of suppliers, and it's really difficult to figure out their ultimate choice for supply. And our biggest challenge with our go-to market approach now is increasing RevGo's brand awareness and making the market aware of our technical RF capabilities.
Well, that's an interesting point. So what sets RevGo apart from the other RF product companies?
Well, like we were saying, 1 million transceivers shipped over the last 18 years. There's three primary things that set us apart. Our products are designed for high data throughput with very little power back off. Our engineers, their experience really is QPSK to 4096 QAM. So they've dealt with such high order modulations that, satellite is typically 32, quickly moving to 64 state modulation. Over the next couple of years, probably to 128 state modulation. That's one thing that really differentiates us. When our customers send us their test reports, they're showing our bucks backing off from 32 state modulation with a 1 dB back off from the rated power. So it's exceeding their requirement because we have to meet all of the specs. We have to meet their rated spec. Well, then we only back off 1 dB. They're telling us our competitors are backing off 3 dB and just to meet the same data throughput. And their products aren't transitioning between the mod cards for higher order modulations as well. So our experience going up to 4,000 state modulation really has differentiated us with high data throughput. The other thing that differentiates us is small enclosures with minimal power consumption. With the original private label strategy, we had to fit our RF technology into those OEMs boxes so they could have their own branding. So we had to have little power heat dissipation in their box. So our products are very small. The third thing and last thing that really differentiates us is we exceed our RF specs and our products are extensively tested. Once again, this is because of the private label OEMs extensively tested our specs, extensively tested our quality processes. And along the way, they were trying to learn our design tricks and techniques. To give you an example of the quality of the product, our field failure rate for over 1 million transceivers is running 0.25%, which is a 0.25% failure rate, which we're pretty proud of.
That is high spec, high quality. So what are the key product developments you see in the years ahead?
Like you well know, in this market, the success of the market is going to be determined by higher data throughputs and lowering costs. It's really that simple. I think you're going to see more satellite on the move with vehicles between a handoff between 5G and satellite, and you'll see more higher volume markets coming. So our goal is back to size, weight, power. We have to increase data throughput and lower costs. So we're already designing towards 128 state modulation because that's what's going to be required probably within 3 years. The other thing that we're doing to lower cost is we're developing more highly integrated product platforms. For example, Buck and LMB separate. You can see the transition over to transceiver. Well, the next transition you're going to see from transceiver is all outdoor radio with transceiver and modem integrated into one package, eliminating changes, eliminating parts, costs. It's going to lower the overall cost of the product. RevGo's engineers are already partnering for ASICs, integrating radio frequency, analog, and mixed signal semiconductor technologies. These ASICs are going to be disruptive technology, lowering costs and creating truly software-defined radios to where it's not all of these SKUs/configurations. It'll be more like software selectable.
Where are you manufacturing at the moment? And these developments as we move forward, does this mean you're going to make any expansion of your manufacturing facilities?
RevGo has 2 U.S. design and manufacturing centers. One's in Washington, D.C. area, Reston, Virginia. And the other one is in the Houston area. We just expanded the Houston facility into a new location where we're going to be producing transceivers. We subcontract out a little bit of some of the PCB work and the metal work.
So going back a bit, you've got a lot of experience, a big reputation, but what are the origins of RevGo?
That's a kind of a funny story about how I became president. Walter Zong founded this company in about 2002. He is an RF engineer through and through, and he promoted me to president a few years ago so he could go back to inventing next generation RF systems. He got bored with president work and he wanted to go back and actually design and architect, and he spent most of his career designing RF for companies like Filtronics before founding RevGo. Before RevGo was called WaveLab before it became RevGo. Walter decided to start his own business when he was working for Filtronics. When he brought next generation outdoor point-to-point microwave RF to Filtronics, and they weren't interested in his product idea, and he decided, I'm doing this. So he started the thing that differentiates Walter in terms of his designs is he envisions products for high volume manufacturing with common modules between all of the different products. He cannot stand these one-off things. So everything he designs, you can take the RF module for say KA, and that RF module will work for all products. It's pretty amazing at the architectural approach he takes with his designs. To give you an example of his success, when he started as WaveLab, he became the largest independent supplier of outdoor RF for point-to-point microwave radios before migrating to satellite ground stations. Today, RevGo/WaveLab is the highest volume producer of Ka band transceivers in the world when you combine both satellite and microwave.
It's quite interesting what you're saying, but these are difficult times, Mike. How has the pandemic changed the way companies conduct business? And do you think this is just a temporary thing, or we are moving into a new way of doing business?
I think people are so much happier on Zoom now or Microsoft Teams. And I think people are more open to meeting with you now for a quick Zoom or Microsoft Teams call. I think that it's actually from a supplier customer perspective, they can go in and out with a meeting and they don't have to be cordial and be nice. I mean, they have to be nice, but they can have a more efficient meeting. And I think that the efficiency of business has improved. But in terms of the product need, I think the world's going back to pre-pandemic. I think the pandemic was a blip in terms of demand. I think cruise ships are going to come back. I think commercial airlines are going to come back. I obviously the economics of hotels and businesses and bricks and sticks is going to change. But I think that the climate is going to become more efficient at having business meetings.
So leading on from that, what is the company's key goal moving forward when we come out of this pandemic?
We're in the process of releasing 4 different products right now. So I really want them to get commercialized in the manufacturing process successfully. From a goals perspective, we've got to deliver on our promises. It's really that simple. If we deliver on our promises, it doesn't matter what the competition does. We just have to deliver on what we say we're going to do.
Well, Mike, it's been very interesting talking to you. Thank you very much.
Thanks. It was fun.